My mom was always working. We were latchkey kids. Mom was always trying to make ends meet and just a hard worker. Was always kind, never said mean things, bad things about people. She never complained about people. She never complained, period. That's what I remember. She just has this strong faith in God, and she just would just power through, knowing that God had control and had us in His hands. And so I just think she is a saint, and I know that she probably cried herself to sleep some nights, many nights maybe, being a single mom of four kids. But out in public, out around us, she was always upbeat, positive, and always smiling. Yeah, I remember the smile. That's my mom. The thing that just jumps out at me is we used to, when we were living in Fountain Valley on El Tango Road, my mother and father were raising, mostly my father, were raising rabbits and chickens. And it was basically to help feed us. And so I remember my mom, after my dad had cut off the head of a chicken, my mother would take the chicken and pluck it and butcher it, gut it, and we would have fresh chicken for dinner that night. And I can actually remember, yeah, she wore gloves, but her reaching into the cavity of the chicken and pulling stuff out and throwing it into the trash can and all of that, and then fixing the the chicken for dinner. That was pretty amazing to think that my mother would do that.
There's so many good memories of growing up with Grandma. She always made it special. And Christmas was probably her favorite holiday, and she proved it every year. She bought us these large paper mache Santa boots, and that was our stocking. And she would fill it. She wouldn't put paper in it. She would not kind of fill it at the bottom and then fill all the goodies. It was filled. We did not have dollar store back then, so I can't tell you what she filled them with, but I just remember that Santa boot, and I have one of them. So it's been fun to put it out during Christmas, but it always brings me back to Christmas morning with Grandma. She was full of life, constantly moving, involved in so many things. She kept all four of us in church every Sunday. So that'd be Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. I think there was some Thursday night things going on. She just kept us surrounded by good people and God's word. And anytime there was hardship, her favorite verse was always quoted, Romans 8:28. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called. And that's my favorite verse as I continue to get stronger in my faith, and that's because of my mom.
So obviously the questions are really super relevant today as we see Grandma's transition and loss of memory. A little background, Mom raised four kids on her own. She got financial help from family from time to time, but she essentially raised and cared for four children on her own from my age of 10, Stacy's age of 5, on until we left the house group and left. So that created both a financial and time strain on her, and the effect was on us as well as kids. Of course, as kids, we didn't really know a whole lot about that. The best memory I have growing up with Mom was, which is an example of how what she was able to do because she loved her kids so much, was maybe I was 13 or 14. She took me to Disneyland for my birthday. I'm sure she couldn't afford it, I assume, but I didn't know that. And at Disneyland, so this would have been 74, 73, 74, 75. And she took me to Disneyland, just she and I. We went and, went on all the favorite rides. And I have a picture somewhere of me, and I think me and her, so somebody must have taken the picture of us, at the Mexican restaurant in Adventureland. But that was, to me, Adventureland, walking around Adventureland, eating at the Mexican restaurant there, the shooting gallery, the canoes, all of that was a delight for me as a kid. I don't have strong recollections. She was a big hugger, but then probably as part of what this project is, memory is flawed. I always felt loved, always felt loved and supported. I will add to that because of the circumstances, there was always an undercurrent of doing things that were going to help move you forward in life, financially. But it wasn't like a insistent conversation. College was not a topic of conversation. I'm the one who brought it up. I'm the one who did the work. I signed up for all the tests. I did all the things that needed to be done there. She was, again, super supportive, but that was something for me to do, she did not take a heavy hand in that, or much of a hand at all. I got the student loans. I got myself there. I dropped out myself. She didn't give me any grief for that, and continued to let me live at home when all of those things happened. So I always knew that there was a place that I could go back to if I failed, which was super important, and it's the same exact way we approach it with our kids today.
Yeah, you know your daughter, Shannon? Yeah, she says hi. It's okay.
After Mom and Dad got divorced,
How old are you?
I was 7. And that day was pretty awful because we had no idea that it was coming. And he just sat us all down and said he was leaving, and shortly thereafter he left. I don't remember most of the time, like when I saw him again, but that was really tough. I know that during the tough times, I rarely, if ever, saw her cry. She portrayed a very, very strong person. She was extremely busy. She was having to put a roof over 5 people's heads, hers and 4 kids, and with not a lot of help from my father. And so she was a very strong woman. The thing that I do remember, it was a good and a bad thing, but the family was wanting to split the kids up, and not just like to help her out. Here, I'll take one of your kids because there's 4 of us, right? And she said no. So we knew that if we wanted something, it would have to be something that was extremely important to go and ask her for. There wasn't a lot of things that she could provide for us, extra on top of your clothes and your this and that, toys and stuff. There wasn't a lot, so what you got at Christmas and that kind of thing was, you appreciated it, I guess, more. We never take that back. We rarely, if ever, got birthday presents. We got a cake and a card.
Paul says hi, and so does Dale. All of your siblings, all of your kids. All the siblings says hello.